Okay, at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna call the Village of Glarus board meeting to order. Lynn, would you please do the roll call?
Yes, yes. I'm just gonna.
Hey, Peggy,
Yes, present.
you're on twice. You have two people logged in right now. Peggy?
Yes, present.
All right. You have two accounts. Two people are labeled Peggy Cruz are logged in right now, or have you
Hold on.
entered twice?
Yeah, hold on a minute. I think I'll get off here. Is it okay now?
Seems like the feedback stopped, so we should be okay.
Okay.
Okay. Lynn, would you call the roll call, please?
Yep, I was just gonna mention to begin with that all the new officers that are in tonight have taken their oaths and they're all completed, ready to go. So I'll start with the roll. Michael Bell.
Present.
Henry Janish.
Present.
Peggy Cruz.
Present.
Tammy Newberry.
Present.
Chuck Phillipson.
Here.
Roger Trutman.
Here.
And Lori Wertz.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Item 2, I look for an approval of the agenda.
This is Tammy. I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay. Is
I'd like
anyone
to
willing to
second.
second?
I'm Mike.
Okay, thanks, Mike. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, public appearances and citizens' comments. No debate will occur. With items will not be acted upon at this meeting, but will refer to the proper staff or committee if action is required. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone on that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to item 4, approval of the consent agenda.
I'm going to make a motion. This is Peggy to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that motion. This is Lori.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, Parks and Recreation, Committee Chairperson Report. Chuck?
We have several applications for use of the various park items A through E, if I'm not mistaken. The Parks and Rec Committee has recommended approval of these applications, and I would submit that we could approve them en masse, so to speak. So that's, yeah.
So this is Tammy. I would like. I'm sorry.
What, Tammy? Go ahead, Tammy.
I was going to make a motion to approve the park use permits for items B through E.
Michael Bell will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item F, discussion consideration 2021 recreation program policy and procedures.
The Park Committee discussed the upcoming rec and pool procedures.
This is Peggy. I am not hearing anything.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
I
Hello?
can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is someone speaking about item F?
Peggy, can you hear me?
Chuck is,
Yes, I can hear you. Is someone speaking about item F?
Yes, I am. Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
yes,
And
we
Peggy,
can hear
you
you.
can't hear me?
I can't, well, I cannot hear anybody speaking on item F. If they are, I can hear some of you.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Peggy, can you hear me if I say I'm speaking on item F? Apparently not. I don't know what the problem is here.
I can hear you. Peggy, are you able to hear me? This is Drake.
Yes, I am able to hear you. I'm able to hear Tammy, Lori, and Roger, but I am not hearing Chuck.
Interesting. Chuck, with your permission, do you want me to take this one?
Yeah, that's all right, except that I don't understand why she is selectively not hearing me.
Yeah, this is the first time we've encountered this.
I don't hear him at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's the case, Peggy. It seems to be isolated.
Just as a test, Bert, can you hear me?
Yeah, Chuck, I can hear everybody talking, including Peggy. Everybody, I can hear loud and clear.
Just as another test,
No, Chuck does not come in at all.
let me just throw in another test here. Becca, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. Well, this is very strange.
If I may make a recommendation, it might be Peggy. If you want to close out of the program and re-log in, that
Okay.
might help.
Okay. Will
We'll
do.
test.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, maybe something got crossed when she was logged in twice there or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Could
that's
be.
the only thing I can think of.
A suggestion.
We'll hold on for a couple minutes to see.
Okay, I am, okay, back. A second here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Well, it says I have a unstable connection, so. Okay, well,
Okay.
we can go forward. I'll do the best I can.
Well, if you can't hear me, then and if you can hear Drake, I'll let Drake do this.
Okay. I will fill in here due to the technical difficulties. So the Parks and Recreation Committee discussed the various programs and policies for the 2021 recreation programs and public pool. In 2020, you'll all remember that we did operate them in an abnormal way due to the ongoing pandemic. There were additional restrictions enforced for baseball and softball programs, and we operated the pool on a sign-up basis, different than, so there were about hour and 15-minute time blocks, if you recall, and people would sign up for them and attend at the time that they signed up, along with some reductions in the fee structure. The committee discussed these items. Both Director Chris Rear and Director Megan Buell were at the meeting, and the committee ultimately recommended the following motion. The motion to operate the Parks and Recreation and Pool summer programs under normal policies and procedures, and then confer upon the pool director and Parks and Recreation director the authority to implement safety precautions as necessary. As an additional note, we did receive some information from the school district, who is having a baseball season currently ongoing, and will be using Veterans Park as they usually do. They've been in touch with Chris, and right now they're limiting their spectators to 4 people per athlete. They're not requiring masks but they are requiring distancing among groups. So unless they're within 6 feet of people outside of their group, they're not requiring masks. So Chris has been working with them to make sure, just so that we're aware of what they're doing, and so that Chris can assist them as necessary. But what the committee thought this motion accomplished was that we could move forward with providing these programs to the community for this summer, but also give the flexibility to both of the directors to take the steps as necessary as they saw fit to promote public safety and public health as much as possible. So I know Chris intends to adopt a lot of the practices that he used last year that worked really well, as far as sanitizing and teams spreading out and spectators spreading out. And that Megan also plans to continue with the cleaning of high touch areas and handle, but still to manage the pool as normally as possible to allow for the community to utilize it.
This is Peggy. I'm hoping everybody can hear. Last year, when we voted to operate even during the pandemic, do you recall any outbreaks as a result of the programs that were activated?
I was not made aware of any spread of COVID-19 that was traced back to participation in a recreation program.
Okay, thank you.
Was there any tracing done with outbreak?
Greene County Public Health and other state contact tracers, they would participate and contact people through contact tracing. Obviously, there was, at the height of it, there was probably not as many contact tracers as there was spread going on, but contact tracing was going on in the county. It was not conducted by the village, but it would have been ongoing efforts by the state and Greene County Public Health.
Is there any further discussion on this item? We would need a motion.
Peggy? This is Tammy. I'll make a motion to return to policies and procedures as described.
This is Peggy. I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there now any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, Public Works and Public Safety Committee Chairperson Report. Peggy?
Yeah, this is Peggy. All of the items that you see from B through F were discussed and approved at the subcommittee level, and these were special event permits. The recommendations were approved by staff, and everybody had their proper paperwork in. The only item that was new that was not on our agenda was the installation of the stop signs. So I'm going to go ahead and open it to discussion if anybody has any other, ongoing discussion that they want to continue with this, or go ahead and approve 4B through 4F.
Was that a motion, Peggy?
Yeah, mm-hmm,
I'll second that, Peggy.
okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on any item B through F? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Item G
Opposed?
is new. I'm sorry. Item G is new, so I'll let Drake go ahead with that, or Bert, whoever is looking to expand on that.
I'll kick us off. So this intersection was brought to our attention by a concerned resident. It is an uncontrolled intersection, so there are no stop signs, yield signs at the intersection of 4th Street and 13th Avenue. The Department of Public Works does have the signs and can install them if approval is granted, so they could go up quickly. I asked when the concerned citizen reached out, we asked the police department to review the area, and their recommendation was that stop signs would be warranted to be installed on 4th Street for north and southbound traffic. Chief Boldebuck or Lieutenant Sturdivant, please let me know if I conveyed anything incorrectly.
No, that's correct, Drake.
Yeah, Drake, that's correct. We went up there and looked at it. It is, in our opinion, warranted because it's just basically an uncontrolled intersection there. And based on the information we had also received from somebody, they were concerned about the track team running in the area and pedestrian and strollers and kids. So Lieutenant Sturdivant and I both looked at it and agree it's probably warranted up there now.
Has there been any issues in that area at all?
We have not had any as far as like accidents or anything like that. We primarily based our observations on the citizen who brought it to ours and the village's attention, and they felt rather strongly about having the stop signs there.
There are, and also, Chief, if I remember correctly, there are stop signs on other intersections that 4th Street intersects with. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Up in that general area. And Lieutenant, maybe you can tell me, because you've been there a little bit longer than I have, of the kind of the way they've run the hierarchy of them and which direction has typically had the stop signs going on them.
Yeah, the recommendation we made is usually where they're going. So like on 4th Street, it would be for the north and southbound traffic, because those are the roads that are like the longest. It gets people to slow down too, so they're not just picking up their pace as they keep moving.
So it sounds to me that the person who lives nearby has been noticing an increase in pedestrian traffic and is looking to control that intersection to, as Sergeant Sturdivant says, to slow them down. And I think it seems warranted. So I'll make a motion to go ahead and place those stop signs.
Second.
Was that you, Henry, that seconded?
Yeah, sorry. This is Henry. A second.
Okay, Henry, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, new business. Item 8, discussion consideration, special event permit application for New Glarus Chamber Polka Fest, beer, bacon, and cheese on 6/11 and 6/12/2021.
The Chamber of Commerce has submitted the special event permit application. This includes the closure of several streets and use of Village Park. The applicant requested open intoxicants, and the draft permit with the full listing of street closures and open intoxicant locations is included in your packet. A 40 by 120 tent will be located on First Street, and a 10 by 10 tent would be located on Fifth Avenue, 4th Avenue, and 3rd Street. The Parks and Recreation Committee and Public Works, Public Safety Committee did recommend approval at their meetings. Earlier, I did send out some statistics at the request of a trustee regarding some information on COVID-19 and different recommendations regarding group gatherings. As a further update, I did receive some word back from Greene County Public Health directly. They are referring to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services for how to handle summer festival activity, and they point to our rating as a high category for COVID-19 disease activity level, and at that level, Wisconsin DHS is recommending no indoor gatherings take place, and that outdoor gatherings are limited to 10 people or less with masks and physical distancing. So that's the notice I was sent from them just a few hours ago. So that is, they're holding their recommendations consistent with Wisconsin DHS. I did note that in a previous correspondence that Dane County, our neighboring community, Dane County Public Health's current order from their local health department isn't setting a hard limit on the number of people that can attend outdoor gatherings or requiring masks, but their order does still require that few enough people attend that distancing can be observed, and are recommending masks in situations where distancing cannot be observed. So that is the update I have for you. If anyone would like me to run through some of the other statistics regarding vaccinations, I can do so. But we're just about 42% in the county that have received at least one vaccination, and I believe it was just over a third as a state of the state as a whole, or just around. I apologize. It was just under 30% in the state that had received the full 2-dose regimen, but the county, Greene County, is at just over 33% that has completed the 2-dose regimen. So if there's any other questions, I'll do my best to assist.
Excuse me, Drake, can we just mention those 2 changes on this draft? That Becca had pointed out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No.
If you're looking at the online packet, it is updated, but if you were looking at your printed packet, there are a couple of minor corrections to the special event permit. On the first page of the draft permit, under the alcoholic beverages / open intoxicants, the requirement for plastic cups only was removed on 5th Avenue between Railroad Street and 3rd Street, 2nd Street between 4th Avenue and 5th Avenue, and 4th Avenue between Railroad Street and 2nd Street, due to the fact that during this event, they have glass sample cups that the people who purchase tickets use for samples. And then under tents, if I was incorrect before, I apologize. Under the section tents, item number 2, the 10 by 10 tents, it reads, shall be erected on 5th Avenue, 4th Avenue, and 3rd and 2nd Street, rather than 3rd Street between 4th and 5th Avenue. So those are the 2 minor changes brought to our attention after we had reviewed it with the applicant.
Is there any discussion on this item?
So this is just going to be held the exact same way it's always been with a beer tent? There's no changes at all?
I believe that's that's correct. Becca, are there any special arrangements being put in place?
Yeah, there are. We are moving registration from its previous location by the Chamber Depot. We are moving that over to 4th Avenue. We moved it there because it's a lot more space for people to spread out while they're waiting to get their wristbands and cups. Using 4th Avenue also lets us shift some of the vendors down to the west end of the street so that we can spread out vendors a little bit more throughout the whole event through the three or four streets that are closed. Those are the biggest changes. We also put in language. This is an event where you have to buy a ticket online ahead of time. And in order to buy the ticket, you have to click off that you've read and understood all the language that goes with it. And that included all sorts of warnings about COVID. We also, because it's ticketed, have the emails of all the attendees. So we will be contacting them all the week before the event to remind them of safety measures, tell them to bring their masks, tell them to distance. And also we're going to be offering refunds to anybody who has purchased a ticket, but who feels that they have COVID-related symptoms if they're not able to go. We're going to make it possible for them not to come. So yeah, we are taking measures to make this a safer event than a normal year.
Is there anything enforcing anything? Is there any enforcement of any of the rules that apply towards those precautions? Or is it just honor system?
It's a mix of honor system and social pressure, is what I would call it. No, we are not going to be ordering people to wear their masks, no.
So just to clarify the 4th Avenue thing, what will occur on 4th Avenue and where?
4th Avenue will be closed, and on the west end of that street between Railroad and 2nd, kind of near the gazebo probably, but in the street, we will have the registration tables. And so the whole rest of that block back towards Railroad will be available for people to line up in order to get their registration, their cups and their wristbands. Once they have those, they will move past the tables towards the Village Hall end of the street and begin going up 2nd Street with all the vendors.
Okay, so you're talking 4th Avenue between Railroad and 2nd.
Yep.
Okay.
This is Peggy. How many attendees do we usually have for this event?
We sell about 1,800 wristbands. We also give wristbands to the vendors so that they can sample their neighbors' stuff if they'd like to. Not everybody comes. I think in 2019, our actual attendees were closer to 1,600 out of the 1,800 that we sold.
Does anybody think it might be a good idea to have some type of enforcement outside of honor system?
You'd also have to look at all the people who are vaccinated. At that point in time, we still have 2 more months of vaccinations that's going through the country. And we're already at, what, 42% just in Wisconsin? That's not even looking at the kids that are underage. You know, I think that puts us up to like 52 or something like that here too. So if we got 2 more months on top of all this, how much more are you looking for? Are you looking for a privatized security to come in and boss people around?
No, I'm saying have some type of enforcement. I'm asking if anybody thinks it's a good idea to have some type of enforcement outside of honor system.
Yeah, I think
for 1,800 people, that's a lot. That's a lot of people. I mean, if you think that's a good idea, I'm all about having festivals again. Of course, we need them, but we can put thought into things and actually have it so that everyone can come, not just people who yeah, just maybe think more recklessly than everybody. Some people are going to want, you know, some semblance of it. You know, there's going to be a big mix of people in there. And some aren't vaccinated at all, and people are susceptible. I don't know. I'm just trying to make it, thinking it might be a good idea to have it inviting towards elderly and everybody.
I think Henry
Yeah.
brings up a very good point. But I don't think there's any reasonable way to enforce this. I certainly wouldn't want to put this on our police department. I think we either approve this and take the risk that people will behave, which obviously we know they won't, or we don't. And that's what we have to deal with here. I don't say that facetiously. Once the beer starts flowing, the only rules are there ain't no rules.
Right.
I don't.
Is there another way? Maybe spread it out. I mean, is there any way to spread this out more? I mean,
I think that's what, Henry, I think that's what they already tried to do. I mean, we've added a whole other street and a whole other backyard area. I mean, I think giving people the space to move away, and telling people what the rules are. And the good news is if people are uncomfortable, they can leave. I mean, it's going to be by choice to go, and it'll be by choice to leave. I'm not sure. I have to agree with Chuck. As much as I'd like to be able to enforce it, I don't know how you would.
Yeah.
Can I interject something from the police department here? We have no ordinance to enforce for that, number one. And number two, if you recall, when this all started, the Greene County District Attorney came right out and open in a media release that said they will not be enforcing it criminally for any type of offenses. So we can take that pretty much out of the picture as far as any type of enforcement action against it, only because we're strapped by the lack of a law to do so. Secondly, as Chuck kind of had brought up, when you have the beer starts flowing and you have a large group together and you only have 4 cops there, you know, there's not a whole lot they can do. And I know from my meetings with the chamber and speaking to them, I think they're going further than other events are by notifying people, giving them another notice. They're basically signing off on it, and the option to get a refund if for some reason at the last minute they don't want to be there. But I think everything's kind of been put into place, and I don't really know what more else we could do as far as, you know, the social distancing goes.
I think the one other point is that we have stressed, I believe, in all our recommendations that if the COVID situation changes, obviously for the worse, between any potential approval of this and the time of the actual event, that we would have the option to take action to prevent any problems health-wise. I can't find the wording, but I know Drake, I know it's here somewhere.
Yep, it's on page 3 of the draft permit under special safety procedures. This event will only be held if it complies with the recommendations, so on and so forth. So that provides that stipulation is in there that the village does reserve the right to revoke the permit if its occurrence presents a public health risk, and that is at the opinion of the village board. So the village board could meet and revoke the permit if circumstances did change.
Thanks, Drake. Yes, I just found it.
This is Peggy. I think we're doing, in an imperfect situation, we're doing the best we can to inject some spark into our business and community. And on the other hand, we're also doing some, we're weighing the options of keeping it safe as well. I've noticed just in working one of the businesses in the community that people are not wearing a number of masks that come in where I'm working, and they just come up and say, I've been vaccinated, I'm not wearing a mask anymore, I'm done. So, I mean, I've had numerous people say this to me. So you are going to probably see people who are going to, say, I'm not going to protect myself. However, we have all of these, concerns that we're weighing, and I just don't see how we can make one blanket decision. I think the Recreation Committee has done the best they can, and we are compensating for the COVID situation, but we also are trying to keep our community afloat and also recognize those who have been vaccinated who feel that they don't need to wear a mask. So whatever decision we make, someone's going to be angry, and it's just a difficult call. So I see how we are all feeling here, and as we step, carefully to make the right decision.
This is Lori, and I will make a motion to approve the special event permit for the Polka Fest Beer, Bacon, and Cheese Festival.
Michael Bell will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Item B, discussion consideration temporary alcohol license for New Glarus Chamber Polka Fest Beer, Bacon, and Cheese on June 11th and 12th, 2021.
This is the temporary alcohol license that allows the sale of alcohol at the special event Beer, Bacon, and Cheese / Polka Fest that was just approved on the previous item.
Well, we can't have one without the other. So this is Peggy. I'm going to go ahead and approve that temporary alcohol license for the Chamber Polka Fest Beer, Bacon, and Cheese.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, discussion consideration of site agreement between Village of New Glarus and Greene County for the radio communications facility. Drake?
Greene County currently operates a radio communications facility on property owned by the Village of New Glarus, located in the town of New Glarus, near the intersection of Klitsky Road and State Highway 39. The county currently owns and operates the 140-foot latticed tower and equipment shelter on the premises. The county desires to replace this tower with a new 195-foot tower with an emergency generation and LP tank within an expanded fenced compound. The initial land use agreement term is 10 years with an automatic 1-year extension unless written notice is given by either party not less than 180 days prior to the date of termination. The site use agreement is attached. The village attorney has reviewed the document and is satisfied with its terms. Administration recommends approval.
This is Chuck.
This
I'll
is
move the
Tammy.
approval.
Tammy second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Item 8, President's Report. Resolution 21-05, appreciation of trustee Ganser. Okay. Whereas trustee Michael Ganser was elected to the board in April 2019 and has continued to serve the village board since, and whereas the village of New Glarus recognizes the years of service by trustee Ganser and his dedication, commitment, knowledge, and service to the electors of the village and the village board will be missed. The village board of the village of New Glarus, Green County, Wisconsin does hereby extend its sincere gratitude to Michael Ganser for his service and commitment of time dedicated to making the village of New Glarus a better community. Thank you, Mr. Ganser.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike,
Yep. Thanks, Mike.
We would need a motion to approve that, please.
Well, this is Tammy. I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'm Michael Bell, second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item B, consideration Arbor Day proclamation. This we do every year. I guess you've got it in your package, you've all read it, so it's a traditional thing, so if somebody would like to make a motion to make the proclamation.
This is Lori. I'll make a motion for the proclamation.
Okay, we got a little overlap there.
Yeah, Lori and a second Tammy. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Okay, update, board of review training and meeting reminder. Lynn?
Sure. First of all, the training materials have arrived. Chuck is currently the only one certified as a member of the board of review, so he will have to be in attendance. It would be nice if a couple other ones would get that training in, so in case something happens, we have some backups. Just give me a call if you want it. It's a DVD that you listen to and fill out a form at the end. Otherwise, just a reminder, board review will be held Thursday, the 27th of May at 5 p.m. We require the 2 hours, so we have to be there at least till 7. And we currently have it set up as a Zoom meeting. The assessor will appear via Zoom, and we're considering trying a hybrid kind of between the board and Zoom, so you can pick and choose how you want to attend. And that's all I have.
Okay, Lynn, thank you. Is there any further business by the board members? Michael Bell?
Yes, sir.
I would like to have you get a hold of Brianna to ask her or have her get in contact with Drake or Lynn or myself about serving on the tourism committee. I've left a message for her, and then Hunsa's going to get a hold of her. So if you see her, would you please have her call one of the three of us, please?
Absolutely. We'll have a meeting here tomorrow, so I'll mention it here to her.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Yes.
And I got a couple little places I need to get filled on the committees yet. Chuck and I were going to serve on the ETZ committee, but finding out that as board members we can't serve, it has to be citizen members serving, but they also have to be on the plan commission. So I got to get out to ask a few of them if they'd be willing to serve on there, but so.
Wait, Roger?
Yeah.
Is this ETZ or Board of Appeals?
ETZ. Remember you and I discussed we'd serve on that because we're both on plan commission? Well, come to find out, it's got to be citizen members from the plan commission serving on the ETZ.
Okay.
They can't be board members, so I got to talk to a couple of the members that are on, the plan commission for that. And let's see, I think I don't have it in front of me now, but, well, that's all I have for now.
Okay, so we done?
Yep, no further business, we are adjourned.
Adios.
All right.
Gansett
Good night,
Mike
everyone.
here. I've been listening to this, and I just want to thank the board and also say that it's been an honor for me to serve on the board with all you kind people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care, Mike. Take care.
You'll be back.
Good night, everyone.
Answered, Mike.
Yes,
Thanks again.
you're welcome. Bye-bye.